Morning guys, welcome back to Rock Fabulous 40s, and I'm going to talk about products that I have reached for the most in the month of February. This is going to be my drugstore version. I have a luxury or a higher end version that will be coming up soon. If I haven't already posted it, it will be posting very, very soon. Alright, so these are going to be everything that I've been reaching for in the month of February. So some of the things are, tried and true favorites that I love. Some of the things are things that I've tried in February that I didn't like. Some of them might be new. Some of them might be things that were already in my collection that, for whatever reason, I just changed my mind about or didn't like, something like that. And then I've got a little bit of a so-so kind of thing as well. I don't know what this is. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into the drugstore portion of the things that I have reached for the most. And there's going to be some product types, like for example blushes, that I don't have a drugstore version of that I've really reached for this month, but I do have a higher end version that will be in the other video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the first thing that goes on your skin, and that is primers. Now, I have been reaching for a lot this month, the Infallible Glow Lock Primer. This is part of their Pro Glow line. I love the Pro Glow foundation, you guys know that, and that's actually in my list of reach fors for February, like it is every month. So this is supposed to be an illuminating primer, and it says on the back of it that it is, and I have such a hard time reading it. It says the finish is glowy and luminous. It says it preps your skin for foundation, which it does do that. And then its benefits, it says it's smoothing, it's hydrating, and it blurs. Alright, so what I have noticed about this is when I apply it, it is a squeezy tube. I do like that. It has kind of a peachy, when it comes out, it's kind of peachy, and it has a little bit of a luminosity when it comes out of the tube. But when you spread it into the skin, it has that very, what's the feeling? That soft, sitting on top of the skin kind of feeling to it. I feel it sinks into the skin a little bit, but it doesn't sink all the way into the skin. I feel a little bit of it still stays on top. I do think that, I don't think that it's so dewy that it accentuates pores and lines and things like that. It doesn't do any of that, but it definitely does not mask the pores either. So if you're going to use, any type of illuminating primer, you definitely, if you're worried about pores and lines and things like that, you can definitely use a pore filler. However, I feel with this, even though it says it's supposed to be hydrating, I don't really feel that it is. I feel that it kind of sits on top of the skin, and yeah, your foundation goes nice on top of it, but it sits on top, and it kind of throughout the day kind of makes my skin feel kind of parched. My skin feels dry when I wear this. I like it. It's a good primer, but it just makes me a little dry. I'll continue to use it though. I just need to make sure I use a really, really good heavy coating of moisturizer underneath it. For another option from the drugstore, if you guys want a luminous primer that doesn't accentuate pores and lines, that's a little more luminous than the L'Oreal one, that's the Milani Prime Light. I've been wearing this thing for months and months and months, and it's really, really good. This one, it's a thinner consistency. It's a pearl white when it comes out of the tube, and when you spread it in, it does give you the luminosity, and it sinks into the skin. So it doesn't sit on top and leave you feeling like you've got silicone sitting on top of your skin. It actually sinks in. And the makeup, my foundation, lasts for a long time on top of it. So, another alternative if you're really wanting that more luminous, this is a little more luminous than this. This is a little more hydrating than this, but they're both really good. So it just really depends on your skin type. If you're a little more oily, even though this one is oil-free, if you're a little more oily, I would actually go with this one because for my skin, it did make me feel a little dry. Alright, moving on. Alright, so let's go on to foundation. For drugstore foundation, really the only thing I've been reaching for as far as drugstore goes this month is my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is my favorite drugstore foundation. I have yet to find one that beats this. So, and I do use these in combination, and the combination is very nice, but I prefer to use this with the Prime Light or even my some of my more luxury primers, like my Becca Backlight priming filter is one of my favorites to use with this. But this has been like an all-time drugstore favorite of mine for a very long time, and it probably will continue to be until I find something that just blows my socks off, and this is the only thing that really has from the drugstore so far. Alright, then also, yes, every single month my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is always in my most reached for products because it is one of my absolute favorites. But this month I decided to lay off of it a little bit and dig into something else that I have in my collection, because when am I ever going to use the stuff that I have in my collection if I'm just continuously using one product all the time, right? I have other decent bronzers in my collection. So of course the one I reach for is another Physicians Formula bronzer. It's this guy right here. You can see I've hit pan on it. And this is the Physicians Formula Healthy Glow bronzer, and it is one of those ones that's got the multicolor. So you've got, you know, kind of your tan bronze here, then you've got a lighter tan, you've got some pink in here, and it is a beautiful bronzer. I'm not going to lie. I mean, look at that. But it is a warm bronzer, but it is very beautiful. So I've been reaching for this one quite a bit. I'm trying to get it used up, and I probably would repurchase it because between this and the Butter Bronzer, they're actually my favorites. So again, this is the Healthy Glow bronzer, and by Physicians Formula, and yeah, I really do like this one. I do rank it kind of up there with the Butter Bronzer, just minus the smell. The smell of the Butter Bronzer I just really, really like. Eye primers, I have been actually reaching for a drugstore primer this month, and this is the Wet n Wild Photofocus Shadow Primer, this little guy right here. This is surprisingly good. I was actually surprised about it. Let me squeeze some of it out here. Okay, so when you squeeze it out, it's kind of a peachy, almost flesh-colored tone, and when you rub it in, it really doesn't do a whole lot for like canceling redness and that kind of thing in your lids, but it does give your lids a very nice soft base to start with, and I do find that it does hold on to my shadows very nicely without them creasing throughout the day. So this has been a really, really good one, and I've enjoyed using it. So yeah, again, this is the Photofocus Eyeshadow Primer by Wet n Wild. So this has been a very loved product this month. Alright, let's go eyeshadows. The eyeshadows I have been reaching for this month are from Wet n Wild, go figure. I tried out their new formulated Color Icon shadow palettes, and there's two that I just really fell in love with, and one of them is Petalette, which is this purple, which is just a beautiful, beautiful purple palette. I really love this. Let me do a couple of swatches here. I mean, it's just, I know it's kind of hard to see it like right now in this light, but this just, it goes on beautifully. It is not overpowering, but you can build it up to really get a big pow of pigment if you want, or you can just sheer it out and wear it really lightly. But however, the colors blend very nicely together. They don't mush together and get muddled. It's just a really, really nice palette. And the other one that I have really, really been wearing throughout the month of February is the one called Walking on Eggshells, which is more of your tan, and it's got a light pink in it right here, but it's more of your tan and brownish type shades. And again, this is also a beautiful palette. This is one that I would consider an everyday type of palette because again, it can look very, very natural, or it can be built up to look a little more dramatic if you want it to, but it's more on the natural side, more on the day-to-day, everyday shadow look, and that's why I really, really like the Walking on Eggshells. Again, the colors blend beautifully, they're smooth, they don't crease or or flake off or anything like that. They just stay put all day. And I typically wear them on top of my Wet n Wild Photofocus primer, or I've used them on top of my Urban Decay primers, my e.l.f. primers, and still they look really, really nice no matter what primer I have used them on top of. So the Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes in Walking on Eggshells and Petalette have been two that I have really, really been reaching for this month. Eyeliners, the thing that I reach for all the time from the drugstore, never changes month to month. I use it in my waterline and also to tightline. This is the Master Precise Skinny from Maybelline, this guy right here, and this is in the one, I believe it's called Defining Black. Does it have a Yes, this is called 210 Defining Black, and this is their teeny tiny skinny gel pencil. It is a retractable, I don't know why I have such a hard time saying retractable. This is a retractable pencil, oh my god, and it is very, very skinny. And what I like to do with this is I like to tight line my upper lash line, so I get right in between each individual lash. I'm not real big on wearing eyeliner on my upper lash line up here, because my eyelids are a little crepey, and when I wear pencils it tends to stick. I'll occasionally do like a liquid liner up there just to give my eyes a little bit more definition, but I do a really tiny thin line. But for the most part, when I do wear eyeliner, it's always a tight line, and I always need like some sort of little skinny pencil like this, or I use a gel pot and a brush, and I'll tight line right up under there as well. So the Master Skinny, or the Master Precise Skinny from Maybelline. So this has been in my monthlies, I think, almost every single time. It's really good. Oh, and it stays in the waterline for a long time too. Alright, so let's talk about lashes. Now this one kind of hurts me because one of my most reached for drugstore mascaras, and it has been for a very, very long time. It's a CoverGirl mascara, and it has since been discontinued. And it hurts me or pains me to talk about it because it's been discontinued, and the only place I've been able to find it has been at TJ Maxx or Ross. So when I do find it, I scoop it up. So if you guys have a TJ Maxx or Ross in your area, just keep a lookout for it. But this is the CoverGirl Exact Eyelights, and mine is in the one Black Pearl, and they have different shades of them. They have like a black pearl, they have like a black gold one, but each one is supposed to accentuate the color of your natural eyes. So mine is in the Black Pearl, which means it's a black with kind of a pearlish blue shift to it, but you can't really see the blue. It's just a typical rubber wand here, but there is just something about this mascara. I'm wearing it today, but there is just something about this mascara that I just really, really like. I think it makes my eyes look really nice. It really opens up the lashes. It really fans them out. It never gets clumpy. But I'm very disappointed in CoverGirl that they discontinued this, and this is one of the reasons I hate bringing it up in my favorites. But I do want you guys to know that I still see it occasionally in TJ Maxx and Ross, and I still see it on Amazon. So if you wanted to try it, I'm hoping CoverGirl brings it back. It just, like I said, it just really pains me, and I shouldn't even be mentioning it in this video, but I am, because it's what I've been wearing. Alright, brows. I have been reaching for, all month for my brows, the Makeup Revolution Ultra Brow Professional Kit. This guy right here. And I like this guy. It's really good. I don't use the tools that come in. These tools really kind of suck, and I just really need to take them out. But it does come with, you know, a couple of tools for tweezers that don't really work. It comes with a little pencil. The pencil's actually not bad. The pencil's okay. But what I have been doing this month, big mirror, what I have been doing this month is I have been reaching for these two right here, mainly this one. And these are like a pomade. And I've never really been big on a brow pomade before. I just kind of dip a brush in. I've never really been big on a brow pomade before, but these have been working very, very nicely for me lately. So what I'll do is I'll go over my brows with the pomade because it is really waxy, and then I'll take one of the powders and I'll go over with the powders just to fill in any areas that I've missed with the pomade. Then I'll take my clear brow gel, and any clear brow gel will work. I'll go over it to set everything in place. And then I'll take this, which is just like a cream highlight concealer, but it's matte. It doesn't have any pearlescent to it at all. I'll take this on an angled brush, and I'll just kind of define the underneath of my brows, and it just gives it that more defined, just really nice brow, I don't know, just really shaped look to the brow. So I really like that. And then this is the highlight right here. And I'll take this and I'll put it just on the tail of the brow, just from the arch down. I don't go the whole way in. And then I'll even take some and I'll put it in the inner corner of my eyes right there sometimes. So I've been really, really digging this, and I've been reaching for it all month. You guys can see I've been like really digging into these pomades here. But I really do like this, and I've kept it in my everyday makeup drawer for the entire month, and it's just very simple to reach for. Everything I need is just in one little place right here, and it works great. Makeup Revolution you can find at Ulta. You can order it online, so this is widely available. And did I say what color mine is in? Mine is in the medium to dark color, and it's funny because it says Ultra Brow Professional Makeup right here, but on the back it says Ultra Brow Bulletproof Palette. That's what it says like on the back. I don't know if you guys can see it. Bulletproof Palette right there. Anyway, just kind of an interesting little side note because I just went off on a little tangent. Alright, so those are the things that I have loved that I have been reaching for. Now I'm going to talk about the things that I've tried this month that I just don't like, that for whatever reason didn't work for me or that I've changed my mind about. And there's actually quite a few here, and I really hate ending things on a negative note, but I think for me, since I didn't like these, I really just want to let you guys know about them. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Maybelline Master Camo. This guy right here. I have the color, what color am I? Apricot. This is one of those that you twist it and the product comes up there. Did you guys see that? Through the top, right there. This was too dark, number one. The little pad thing, I mean, it fits perfectly right there, but it's too dark. The pad blends it in nicely, so that's not, not my issue. But yeah, that's too dark for my under eye circles for my skin type. But I also noticed even blending it in, it made my under eyes look really crepey. So I would like blend it in, and then after I had it really, really blended, I would have to go over it with my concealer like you do most color correctors. And it just made my skin just look very crepey under my eyes. So this was just not, this was not a workable favorite for me, and I will probably never use this again. I thought about trying one of the lighter peach shades, but I think I'm just going to call it good and just not do these Master Camo sticks. Alright, I do have a couple of other color correctors I want to talk about. I actually picked these up at Dollar Tree, and they're by LA Colors. They're called Conceal Correct. I have a peach one and I have a yellow one. Yellow color correctors I typically don't wear. I picked it up to try it, but for the most part I typically don't do yellow correctors because I don't have anything that's really purplish that needs to be covered, I guess. I just picked it up to try it. It's okay. It doesn't provide a whole lot of coverage or color correction, but that's one of the reasons why I quit reaching for it. And then this one is the peach one. It doesn't actually have, yeah, it's just called peach. And then this one is just the peach one. And this one actually wasn't horrible. The color was really good. Okay, so the color was not horrible. The color is light enough, perfect for my under eyes. The problem is when you blend it out, the coverage of the color correction just kind of blends out and blends away. So there's like nothing really to cover those dark circles. So even when you blend this out and put concealer over the top, because this color correction has blended away so much, the concealer is not doing that color correction that you need. So it just kind of blends away into a nothingness. So these are not ones that I'm going to be reaching for anymore in the near future. I also have another one from the Conceal Correct line from LA Colors, and this one is a highlighter. It's white, and it's just called highlighter. Okay, so the thing with this highlighter, I'm not a big fan of the doe foot highlighters. The thing with this highlighter is, okay, so it's not horrible. It's very thin, very light, doesn't have an oily feel to it or anything like that. However, this guy gets into every single pore. Like if I put it right here, any little pore that I have in this area, it gets in that pore, it accentuates it, and it makes me look like I have little white polka dots in my pores. And then you can't blend it out. Even with a damp sponge, you can't blend that out. It's just sitting there in your pores until you clean your face. So this is a no-go for me as well. I have a couple of liquid eyeshadows I picked up from Profusion. I got these around Christmas time, and they came in a little kit, but they're just liquid eyeshadows in the color Rose Gold, this one, and Sienna, this one. I don't like these. I feel these are very patchy. You guys will see. Here, look at this. Okay. So these are very, very patchy, and when you go to blend them, and when I blend, I don't really rub, I just kind of, tap around until it's blended. Again, it kind of blends away to nothing. I mean, it gives a nice little pearlescence-ness, but it just kind of blends away to nothing. So yeah, that's not, I just don't really like it. And that one's the rose gold, and here's this sienna. And the same thing with this. It just kind of, again, it's kind of patchy, and it just kind of blends away to nothing. So yeah, these are just not favorites of mine. I don't like the patchiness of them. The sienna is a little bit better than the rose gold, but yeah, see, do you guys see the patchiness there? It's just not, it's not really great. I'm not all that impressed with them, so I am not going to be wearing those. A couple of other things I tried out this month that I really just did not go for. They just didn't work for me for whatever reason, and I'm not saying they're bad products, they just did not work for me. Was the Milani Liquid Eye Eyeliner. This little guy right here, it is a pencil eyeliner. The problem that I have with this, and it's not a bad liner, because I can put it in the waterline, it stays. I can line my eyes with it and it stays. It's not a bad liner at all. And it's so black. I mean, I barely just touched it on my hand right there, and it's so black. The problem I have with this is, just like a lot of other eyeliners out there on the market, when I try to tight line with it or use it in my waterline, it has this kind of oily film that comes off of it, and it gets onto my contact lenses and just kind of totally blinds me. I mean, literally totally blinds me. So I just can't wear this. This has to go in the pile of the eyeshadows that just don't work for me because of my contact lenses. I do have a whole video explaining that. I will link it down below if you guys are interested, because it goes through and it just kind of tells you guys all the eyeliners that I can and cannot wear because of oily films that get on my lenses. But I mean, it's a good liner. It's just not a good liner for me. The other couple of things I don't like are new products that I've tried out in the month of February. I've had them for a while but have never really used them. And these are the Makeup Revolution lipsticks. I have two of them. This one is the Geek lipstick, and it's called Ken Will Want Me. This guy right here, pretty pink tube, which is what really drew me to it. It is a pink lipstick now. And this sucker is pink. And it's a good lipstick, and it looks nice on the lips, and it's not patchy, and it does last for a little while if I can keep it on, and I'll explain that in a second. What did I do with the other one? I just had it. Oh, here it is. And the other one is in the Renaissance lipstick in the color Awakening. Both of these, like I said, are from Makeup Revolution. Packaging on this is beautiful. The color on this is beautiful. Look at that color, and it's so creamy, and it's a nice looking lipstick on the lips. The problem I have with this is when applied to the lips, it has kind of a weird smell to it, I guess, but it almost makes my lips feel kind of, not tingly. Tingly is not the word I'm looking for. Both of them almost make my lips feel kind of numb-ish, if that makes sense. It's kind of numb tasting. It makes the tip of my tongue kind of numb. It makes my lips feel a little numb. And I don't know if that's just me having a reaction to the Makeup Revolution lipsticks. I don't know. I've never had problems with Makeup Revolution products before like that. But it's just got kind of a, when you first smell it, it's like, okay, it kind of smells like a plasticky, vanilla-y kind of smell, but then once applied, the smell doesn't really diminish, and then it starts to make my tongue a little numb, my lips a little numb, and not in a good way, not in a plumping good way. So I immediately have to take these off. So these are not going to be something that I reach for again. I will try to find a home for them, because maybe I'm just having a bad reaction to them. All right, the last couple of things I have, actually I have three things, which are things that I have either tried in the past or I have had in my collection that I've really liked, and now I've decided I don't like. So one thing that I've tried in the past and decided to break out and try again because I couldn't remember if I liked it or not was the e.l.f. Under Eye Setting Powder. This is the one in sheer. I don't like this guy. It has glitter, and I remember exactly why now I didn't like it, because when I went to go apply it under my eyes, because it has glitter, it really made the fine lines under my eyes just really stand out. And I know a lot of people say, well, once it's sheared out, you can't see the glitter. I can see the glitter. I'm sorry. I can see the little tiny flecks of glitter, and it does tend to accentuate the lines and wrinkles under my eyes. So I'm not going to be reaching for that. I remembered why I just didn't reach for it in the past. All right, something I've really liked is another powder from Milani. This is the Prep Set and Glow powder. I've used this so much, and I really, really liked it. But here as of late, I don't know what's going on, but here as of late, when I set my under eye with this, my under eye is not setting. The concealer and stuff under my under eye is almost like, it doesn't crease, but it just kind of pills up. So any other powder I use with my concealers doesn't do that, but for some reason when I put this one on top of any of my concealers that I use, it started pilling. It's like if I touched like this after the powder was on to make sure it was set, it would pull up on my finger, and I'd get like a pill from it on my finger, and it would leave like a little bald spot where it had pulled the concealer up. So I don't know what's happened to this, because it used to not do that, and now all of a sudden it is. But I've since quit grabbing for it, and I haven't had the issue since. So it's one I've changed my mind about, which is sad because I used to really like it. And then also the last thing I have is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Stick. This guy right here, I used to love this. I used to take this guy before I'd apply any makeup or any primers or anything and just go right under the eyes with it. Blend that in, let it sit and dry down, and then I'd go in with my primer and my foundation over the top. I've had to quit using this because it started making everything I put on top of it pill. It didn't matter how long I tried to let this dry down. If I put anything on top of it, it pilled up, excuse me, it pilled up, and the makeup just kind of peeled right off of anything that was on top of this. So I had to quit wearing this because of that reason, even though it used to not do that. I used to love this, but for whatever reason, it's just changed, or my skin has changed, and this has really just started to peel up on me. So those are 3 things that I have tried in the past that this one I just didn't like from the get-go and just retried it. But these 2 I just used to really, really love, and now I've changed my mind about. So alright guys, so that's pretty much all I have. That's everything I've been reaching for as far as drugstore goes for the month of February. I hope you guys found this interesting or informative, and if you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Also guys, you can look me up on Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, all under RockFabulous40s. If you want to be notified of videos that I have posted, go ahead and hit the bell down there as well. Also, down there somewhere is a subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that so you too can rock your fabulous 40s, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.